XT. Israel, early morning, Sunday, June 22nd. Pre-dawn silence. A soft golden haze blankets the horizon. Birds chirp faintly as the first rays of the sun stretch lazily across the rooftops of sleepy neighborhoods. Children still asleep. Coffee machines begin to gurgle in quiet kitchens. Dogs bark in the distance. A sprinkler ticks rhythmically in a backyard. All seems normal. Inti, Tel Aviv, apartment complex. Living room. 5:44. I am Maya Levy, 34, a single mother and ER nurse, sits in silence. Her eyes are half closed as she sips her coffee, watching the soft movement of the curtains. Her daughter, Noah, 7, is asleep in the other room. TV, OS, and now for today's weather across central Israel. Mild temperatures expected. She gets up and walks to the window. Her eyes narrow. Something strange. A faint vibration in the air. A deep, unnatural hum. And then, boom! A thunderous shockwave shakes the glass. The sky flashes red, as if ripped open by a flaming sword. Maya's cup shatters on the floor. XT, Northern Israel, Haifa. Moments later, the peace is obliterated. Streaks of fire cut across the early morning sky. Missiles, dozens of them, scream overhead. Air raid sirens wail across the land. Civilians in pajamas pour out of their homes, screaming, panicking, grabbing babies, grabbing pets. A mother throws a blanket around her toddler and runs. A man shouts into his phone. No signal. The ground shakes. And then, impact. One of the missiles slams into a residential tower. The explosion blinds the screen. EXT, Tel Aviv, Dan District. Minutes later, smoke, fire, screams. A missile has ripped through the middle of a high-rise apartment building. Concrete, rebar, broken glass, all raining down onto the street. A sedan is flattened by the shockwave. Nearby windows explode outward. Inside the building, walls crumble. People are buried alive beneath the rubble. INT, bomb shelter. Tel Aviv. Simultaneous. Maya holds Noah, trembling in her arms. Noah, muffled sob. Mama, what's happening? Maya's voice is steady, but her eyes betray her. Maya. It's okay, sweetheart. We're safe here. Just hold me. Don't let go. Around them, dozens huddle in the small shelter. An old man bleeds from his ear. A woman clutches her dog like a baby. A teenage boy rocks silently. The walls tremble again. Dust rains from the ceiling. INT, Washington, D.C. White House. Earlier that night, flashing back to a few hours ago, President Donald Trump stands at a podium, his expression grave. Trump tonight, the United States Air Force has executed precision strikes against critical components of Iran's nuclear weapons program. He scans the room. Trump taunted, "We will defend our allies. We will not allow the expansion of nuclear terror in the Middle East." His words carry a heavy tone, both threat and promise. EXT, Ben Gurion Airport, early morning, 6:20 a.m. An eerie red haze drifts above the tarmac. Smoke columns twist into the morning sky. The remains of a missile impact are visible near a runway. A scorched crater smolders. Emergency crews swarm the area, their yellow vests flickering under flashing lights. ENT, Control Tower. Simultaneous Aviation Commander Ilan Meir, 52, barks into a red emergency phone. Ilan ground all incoming flights. No takeoffs, no landings. Shut it down. We are a target. Radar screens flicker. Air traffic gone haywire. In the background, someone screams. Another explosion is heard in the distance. EXT, Tel Aviv, streets of the Dan District. Same time, fire trucks roar down the avenue. Debris clogs intersections. Downed power lines sizzle. Broken glass litters the sidewalks. Civilians stagger out of damaged buildings. faces covered in ash, clothing ripped. A rescue dog barks urgently as it digs into a collapsed building. Inside the rubble, firefighters uncover a child's hand, silent, covered in dust. Firefighter Yossi, 41, freezes for a moment, then drops to his knees. "Yossi, we need medics! Now!" Paramedics rush over. Behind them, the sound of another siren rises, but it's not an ambulance. INT, hospital, Tel Aviv, emergency, ward. 6:47 a.m. chaos. Stretcher after stretcher rolls in. Doctors shout over each other. Blood-soaked sheets, broken bones, crying children. Dr. Layla Amir, 38, her hands shaking, stitches a gash in a man's abdomen without waiting for anesthesia to take hold. Layla, to a nurse, "Keep him conscious. We don't have enough sedatives left." The lights flicker. The backup generator hums loudly. News reports play in the background on a hospital TV. NT, TV studio. Iran State Media. Tehran, 7 a.m. A stern-faced Iranian broadcaster sits straight-backed at a news desk, reading from a script. Iranian newscaster, Farsi, subtitled. The Islamic Republic of Iran has launched a limited and targeted response against Zionist aggression. Strategic Israeli military facilities have been struck. Behind him, footage of missile launches replay in loops, flames pouring from silos, the sky lit up like day. INT, Iranian Military Command Center. Same time, Commander Major General Ali Shirazi, 56, surveys a digital wall map showing Israel. Pins mark impact sites. A young officer reports, "Officer, Phase 1 complete. 28 confirmed strikes. Civilian infrastructure damage is high. Shirazi and Phase 2? Officer, ready on command." Shirazi nods slowly. Shirazi, let them feel our resolve. AXT, Haifa, Coastal District. 7:22 a.m. Another missile screeches across the sky, barely intercepted. Boom! A nursing home is hit by the shockwave of a near miss. Windows explode, walls crack. Elderly residents cry out in terror. Medical staff rush in, wheeling out patients on beds and wheelchairs. Nurse Dina, 28, wraps a trembling old woman in a blanket. Old woman. "Is it war, child?" Dina, quietly. "Yes, Savta. It's war." XT, Jerusalem, Government Building. 8:03, I'm inside a steel and glass war room. Israeli Prime Minister Yaakov Grossman, 61, stands surrounded by top military officials. The defense minister slams his hand on the table. Defense minister. "This is an open act of war. We must strike back, hard." Grossman. "With what? If we hit Qom or Natanz, we trigger a regional meltdown. They want escalation. Intelligence chief. They've struck our capital. We are already in escalation." Grossman, quietly. Then, "God help us all." INT, United Nations. Security Council. Later that morning, chairs are filled. Tension so thick, no one speaks at first. The Russian delegate leans back, expression unreadable. The Chinese ambassador types into a phone. The American representative, red-eyed, raises his voice. USAMBASSADOR, Iran has crossed a line. There will be consequences. Iranian delegate. We will not apologize for defending our sovereignty. UN Secretary General. Please, this chamber was built to prevent war, not narrate it. The room is silent again. INTU, Israeli Air Defense Center, Negev Desert. Noon rows of missile defense operators stare at radar monitors. Blips are increasing. New wave incoming. A commander picks up a red phone. Commander code black. I repeat, code black. Prepare Iron Dome for full-scale engagement. Montage. Across Israel, school children being ushered underground by terrified teachers. Ambulance convoys weaving through rubble-strewn highways. Prayers whispered in bomb shelters. Fathers carrying bleeding sons. flames licking the walls of collapsed homes, civilians trying to call loved ones, no signal, AXT. Tehran, public square. Simultaneous crowds chant in the streets, waving flags and banners. The government has declared it a day of resistance. But inside homes, ordinary Iranian families sit by radios, worried. Father, Iranian civilian, quietly to wife. If they retaliate, our city will be next. The mother pulls her child closer. EXT. Israel. Various locations. Sunset, the sky is bruised and gray. Sirens still wail. Flames still flicker. And the world watches in disbelief. A child's stuffed toy lies in the rubble. A wedding ring glints in a puddle of blood. Fade to black. Text on screen. June 22nd, 2025. The day fire fell from the sky. AXT Israeli Air Base, southern Israel, nightfall. Massive hangars glow under floodlights. Fighter jets are lined like beasts waiting to be unleashed. Inside a hardened military bunker, Air Force Command receives the green light. Commander Yitzhak Harel, 55, stares at his screen. Yitzhak, Tel Aviv, is burning. Enough talk. He turns to a pilot, Captain Nir Ben Avi, 29, helmet in hand. Yitzhak, counted. You launch now. Target Natanz and Esfahan. Make it count. Nir, copy that, sir. Nir heads for the tarmac. His boots echo in the silence. A soldier walking into history. NT. Iran, Natanz nuclear complex. Same time, underneath fortified concrete lies Iran's most prized asset. Uranium centrifuges spinning deep beneath the earth. Technicians work under stress. An alarm light flickers red. Technician, Farsi. Is this safe? They said Natanz would never be targeted. His supervisor just nods toward the ceiling. Supervisor. Pray that dome holds. EXT. Israel. Night sky. Moments later, from the airbase, a dozen F-35 jets roar into the night sky. Their wings slice through darkness. Below them, sirens wail across Israel again. The sound of grief and retaliation wrapped into one. Int. Bomb shelter. Haifa. Same time, Maya and Noah sit curled up beside a family of strangers. Noah holds a cracked tablet in her hand, scrolling through videos of the attack. Noah, Mama, is this going to happen again tomorrow? Maya hesitates, then lies. MAYA number. The worst is over. From above, the muffled sound of another boom. Distant, but real. EXT. Northern Israel. Border zone. Lebanese front. Night as Israel prepares for its airstrike, another threat looms. Across the border, Hezbollah militants move crates of rockets under the cover of night. Their commander speaks quietly into a satellite phone. Hezbollah commander. Wait for Tehran's signal. We'll open the northern front when the word comes. AXT. Tehran. Military HQ. Late night. Inside a fortified war room, Commander Shirazi listens to a chilling report. Iranian aid American satellites tracked Israeli launch patterns. Multiple incoming squadrons. Targets unknown. Shirazi clenches his jaw. Shirazi. We knew this was coming. Power down the radar grid. Lock our surface-to-air systems. Move key equipment underground. ENT, U.S. Pentagon. War Monitoring Room. Same time. American analysts track everything in real time. A giant screen shows Israeli jets over Iraq. Silent, fast, and low. Intel analyst. They've crossed the border. 10 minutes to Natanz. Pentagon General. If those bunkers fall, we'll see this explode across 5 countries. Security advisor. We already are. EXT. Iran. Sky above Natanz. 2:33 a.m. The Israeli jets drop into formation. NIR in cockpit. Target locked. Releasing payload. He presses the release. Aerial shot. The earth erupts as bunker-busting bombs slam into the Natanz facility. The fireball is visible from over 50 miles away. Shock waves rip through the desert. A second facility in Esfahan is hit next. Precision strike. Tunnels collapse. Equipment vaporized. INT. Natanz. Underground facility. Simultaneous. The building cracks violently. Technicians scream as they're thrown against walls. Centrifuges explode like spinning blades. Everything goes dark. EXT. Tehran. Ministry of Defense. 3:10 a.m. Shirazi receives the report. ADE trembling. Natanz is down. Esfahan is critical. The reactors may not survive the night. Shirazi exhales slowly, then turns to a general. Shirazi, ready. Phase 2. INT, United Kingdom. Military Intelligence Office. Early morning British analysts track satellite footage with grave concern. UK analyst. If Iran strikes back now, with scale, they'll light the fuse of regional war. General Taylor. It's not if, it's when. DXT. Jerusalem. Israeli War Cabinet. 6 a.m. Yaakov Grossman stands in the war room. Intelligence Chief Natanz has been flattened. No confirmed warheads, but the site's gone. Defense Minister, we took the first head off the snake, but it's not over. It's never over. Grossman looks at the red phone, doesn't pick it up. Grossman brace for impact. Montage. Morning after strike. Israeli citizens lining up for water. Power off in many areas. Tehran's streets tense with fear. Protests flaring in the background. American warships changing position in the Gulf Syrian anti-air batteries, locking on unknown radar signals. Egyptian and Jordanian officials meeting in secret Hezbollah field units, praying. Loading trucks, UN leaders begging for ceasefire. EXT. Israeli hospital. Emergency ward. Later that day, Maya walks down a hallway filled with stretchers. She sees Noah's friend, Daniel, 7, unconscious, shrapnel in his leg. She kneels next to him. Tears. Maya, I told her it was over. Ext. Tehran. National broadcast. Night Iran declares a national day of mourning and revenge. President Javad Nakavi, televised. They have struck our earth. We will strike their soul. Behind him, military mobilization begins. Fade to black. Text on screen. The next blow will fall without warning. EXT. Tehran. Military launch facility. Dusk, a steel door retracts with a hydraulic hiss. Deep beneath the mountains of Iran, a classified missile system begins to rise. Officers in black uniforms enter launch codes. Lights flash green. Engines rumble. Commander Shirazi watches on a secure monitor from Central Command. Shirazi, let the world feel what they've ignored. The launch officer nods. Launch officer, Farsi. Phase 2 initiated. The sky explodes again as 12 missiles arc into the air. Faster, heavier, and targeting Israeli military and infrastructure. INT. Israel, Northern Command, 7:11 p.m. radar screens light up with red streaks. Alert Tech, multiple launches detected, 12 confirmed. High speed, coordinated. Commander Yitzhak Harel grabs the intercom. Yitzhak. All batteries, all units. Engage. This is not a drill. XT. Tel Aviv. Interception. Skyline. Night, the Iron Dome launches fire back. Streaks of white light chase incoming warheads. 2 missiles explode in the air, intercepted just seconds from the ground. But one slips through. EXT. Ramat Gan Hospital. 7:29 p.m. Doctors and patients are mid-evacuation. Power is flickering. Generators hum. Suddenly, sirens. A nurse looks up. Her face turns pale. Missile impact. The western wing of the hospital is obliterated. Smoke, fire, glass, and screams. INT. Emergency ward. Same time Maya is thrown off her feet. The ceiling collapses behind her. She shields Noah, who was visiting Daniel's bedside. Noah, sobbing. Is Daniel okay? Maya, crying, coughing. I don't know. Just stay close. She pulls Noah into the hallway as smoke fills the air. EXT, Israel-Lebanon border. Night Hezbollah launches missiles from mobile units into northern Israel. Nahariya, Safed, and Kiryat Shmona are hit. Flames rise into the sky. Israeli artillery begins to respond with full force, bombarding southern Lebanon. IANT, United Nations, emergency meeting. Night world leaders are screaming over each other. U.S. Ambassador, this is spiraling. Israel's hospital was just bombed. Iranian delegate, you allowed them to strike Natanz. This is defense, not aggression. UN Secretary General, we demand an immediate ceasefire. Enough blood. Russian ambassador, quietly. You should have stopped it before the first flame fell. EXT, Israel, various cities. Night to morning evacuations begin. Families stuff bags into cars. Buses lined with frightened children. Military convoys escort civilians away from high target zones. Public shelters overflow. People sleep on floors. Panic spreads. Food grows scarce. Medicine runs out. INT, Israeli Airbase. Command briefing room. Dawn satellite images show Iranian missile launchers still intact. Yitzhak, they've adapted. They're moving launchers every 3 hours. Deep inside cities. Intelligence Chief, if we strike now, we'll hit civilian areas. Defense Minister, they just took out a hospital. Civilians are dying anyway. Grossman, PM, coldly. Then strike, precision only. And I want a global broadcast of the aftermath. EXT, Syria, Damascus outskirts. Morning, an Israeli drone strike hits a Hezbollah command center. Secondary explosions erupt. The sky glows orange. Satellite dishes are obliterated. Another drone hits a munitions convoy crossing from Iraq into Syria. NT, Tehran, Scientific Research Building, secret basement. Night 2. Iranian scientists in hazmat suits argue over something locked in a steel container. Scientist number 1. Farsi, panicked. You said this wasn't weaponized. Scientist number 2. It's just leverage. A bluff. We don't release it, only prepare it. Scientist number 1. But if the buildings hit, this city won't survive. They go silent. A silent countdown, LED blinks red near the sealed chamber. INT, CIA headquarters, Langley. Night analysts intercept chatter from Tehran. Code phrases linked to containment breach, leverage, and counter-unconventional threats. CIA director, what the hell are they doing? Intel agent rumors. They may be preparing biological release scenarios if Israel pushes further. The room goes cold. EXT, United States, presidential bunker. Same night, an emergency briefing is underway. National Security Advisor. If that's true, Israel's retaliation could trigger the release of bioweapons in urban zones. POTUS, unnamed. Then we stop this now, one way or another. INT, Israel, Command Center. Night Grossman receives a private message. Satellite photos. English note, do not strike this coordinate, unverified bio threat. He looks up at his generals. Grossman, change of plans. We delay strike 4. Move targets eastward. Focus on missile depots, not labs. Yitzhak. Understood. EXT, Tehran, city center. Night citizens sense something is wrong. Grocery lines stretch around corners. Gas stations are dry. Pharmacies empty. Mothers clutch their children. INT hospital. Tel Aviv. Night. Noah sleeps beside Daniel's bed, now stabilized. Maya, bruised and exhausted, sits silently. She clutches a photo of her husband, a soldier deployed at the northern front. A nurse enters with news. Nurse, the northern line was breached. Hezbollah's inside Israeli territory. Maya's heart sinks. Fade to black. Text on screen. The next strike will not be with fire. EXT. Northern Israel, night 3:14 a.m. Fog creeps over the hilly terrain near Metala. Suddenly, gunfire. Hezbollah commandos crawl through underbrush. automatic rifles in hand. IDF spotter, radio. They're through the wire. Northgate compromised. From the trees, explosions shatter the stillness. Flames rise as buildings ignite. Families caught inside. INT, IDF base, command center. Same time alarm klaxon. Israeli military staff scramble. General Yitzhak. Hezbollah's crossed the red line. If they push 10 kilometers deeper, we lose Haifa's perimeter. Defense minister, then push them back. Use armor, use air. Just don't lose the north. EXT, border town. Morning tanks roll through narrow streets, their turrets aimed north. Civilians flee in caravans. Soldiers build checkpoints from sandbags and overturned buses. A father carries 2 crying toddlers. His wife pushes a wheelchair-bound grandmother. Man, where do we go now? IDF soldiers south. Anywhere south. Leave everything. INT, hospital. Tel Aviv. Same time Maya wakes to the sound of another air raid siren. Nurse everyone below ground. Hezbollah's hitting the outer ring. She grabs Noah and Daniel from the beds. The hallway is a storm of wheelchairs, nurses, wounded, and fear. As they rush for the shelter, boom! Glass shatters. Ceiling tiles fall. A support beam cracks. Maya dives. XT hospital, rubble field. Same time Maya crawls out of the wreckage, blood dripping down her face. Noah cries beneath her, alive but covered in dust. Daniel is silent. Maya, sobbing. No, no, Daniel. She tries to lift a beam off his leg, but it won't move. IDF medics arrive, begin lifting civilians. One medic grabs her arm. Medic, we've got you. Go. Maya, I'm not leaving him. They manage to pull Daniel out just as flames erupt behind them. INT, Iran, secret biolab. Night 2 masked soldiers enter. Silencers. The scientists are taken out. A black device, a small vial in a containment unit, is taken. Rahel, OS, through comms. Package secure. Facility neutralized. The lab is wired with C4, EXT, Tehran, sky above. Moments later, boom! The building erupts into a fireball. INT President Javad's office. Night. He receives the report. His hands tremble. Aid, Farsi. The lab is gone. President Javad. Then all we have left is the truth. He walks to a desk, removes a sealed envelope, hands it to Shirazi. President, final broadcast. No more threats. No more war. NT. Global TV feeds. 4 a.m. Jerusalem time. Iranian state TV broadcasts live. President Javad, Farsi, subtitled, To the people of Israel, to the world. We grieve. We bleed. But we also choose to survive. Cut to Live Israeli TV, showing Prime Minister Grossman watching from the war room. President Javad conted, We will not release what we cannot control. Not for pride, not for vengeance. EXT Streets of Tehran. Night people erupt in tears. A hush falls over the streets. Families emerge from shelters. Children are lifted onto shoulders. EXT. Israel. Across the nation. Dawn-exhausted civilians walk out of bunkers. Sunlight creeps through shattered glass. Maya sits in a wheelchair, her arm bandaged, holding Noah and Daniel, alive. She watches the rising sun. Fade to black. Text on screen. The flame did not die, but the fire paused, just long enough to breathe. XT. United Nations. New York City. Dawn flags flap in the early morning wind. An emergency press conference begins. UN Secretary-General after intense negotiations. Iran and Israel have agreed to a 7-day ceasefire. This is not peace, but it is a pause. Use it wisely. Cameras flash, reporters shout, but the world exhales. INT Israeli War Room. Same time. Prime Minister Grossman sits in silence, surrounded by advisors. Intelligence Chief, the vote of no confidence is coming. Grossman, let it. I did what I had to. Defense Minister, you blinked. That's what they'll say. Grossman stands. Grossman, I didn't blink. I walked away from the abyss. EXT. Tehran. Parliament. Morning Iran's leadership is in chaos. Protests outside. Fires in the street. Inside, conservative MPs scream accusations. Ultra-conservative MP, Farsi. You promised retaliation. Instead, you offered surrender. President Javad Nakavi, I preserved the soul of this nation. You wanted martyrdom. I wanted survival. Int, Tel Aviv, hospital. Day Maya helps Noah eat lunch beside Daniel's bed. Daniel, did we win? Maya glances out the window. Smoke still rising from the far edge of the city. Maya, we survived. That's enough for now. EXT Ramat Gan, mass funeral ground. Late afternoon. Rows and rows of fresh graves. Israeli soldiers, civilians, children. Families stand in silence. Rabbis whisper ancient prayers. The sound of dirt hitting coffins is the only reply. Int, Global Newsroom, BBC World, night. The host turns solemn. News anchor, global death toll. 3,100 Israeli civilians. 740 IDF personnel. 1,200 Iranian military. Over 6,000 injured on both sides. Millions displaced in footage behind her. Families walking toward UN aid camps. EXT. Sky over Syria. 2 nights later, a strange glint in the sky. A parachute. A crash. An Israeli F-35 pilot, Captain Nir Ben Avi, has been shot down. Captured by Iranian special forces. Blindfolded. Bleeding. Tied. INT. Tehran. Unknown interrogation room. Night Nir is chained to a chair. Iranian officer. Farsi. You violated our skies. Struck our hearts. Tell us where you launched from. Nayar, you hit a hospital full of children. You think I'll tell you anything? The officer slaps him hard. Blood drips from Nir's mouth. INT, Israeli war room. Same time. Intel report. Pilot captured. Alive. Location unknown. Iran denies holding him. Grossman's hand clenches. Grossman, no retaliation. Not yet. Defense Minister. Then at least let us start preparing rescue options. INT, United States. CIA briefing. Night photos flash across the screen. Iranian base near Dezful. Secret bunker activity. A folder labeled Shabnam Research, closed but active. Intel officer Iran told the world the biolab was destroyed, but something's still active beneath it. CIA director, if it's still live, the ceasefire's built on a lie. INT, United Nations, closed session, night. The Iranian ambassador is confronted. U.S. delegate. What's still alive in Dezful? Iranian delegate. Nothing. That facility was sterilized. French ambassador, then let us in. Prove it. Iranian delegate Iran does not answer to suspicion. Only sovereignty. INT, Tehran, military base. Secret room Commander Shirazi watches surveillance of Israeli pilot Nir, still imprisoned. Beside him, a scientist. Shirazi. Status? Scientist Phase 3 requires authorization. But it's viable. Shirazi, then prepare it. If the Zionists break ceasefire, they'll face total collapse. INT, Tel Aviv, emergency room. Night Maya sits outside an operating room. Daniel is inside, undergoing shrapnel removal surgery. A nurse approaches. Nurse, you can go home now. He'll be stable in the morning. Maya, we don't have a home. EXT, makeshift uncamp. Jordan border. Night. Thousands of Israelis now live in tents. Children cough in the cold. Mothers cook with twigs. A sign reads, Temporary Aid Zone, though nothing about it feels temporary. EXT, Tehran, alleyway. Night 2 teenagers spray graffiti. No more war, not in our name. A police siren screams in the distance. They run. INT, Israeli Prime Minister's office. Knight Grossman watches old footage of himself giving a speech from years ago, idealistic, proud, full of fire. Now he's hollow. Grossman to himself. What did I save if I lost everything? AXT. Sky above the Middle East. Final montage. Satellite images of ruins across both nations. IDF drones circling the northern border. Iranian scientists moving crates underground. The blindfold removed from Nir's eyes. He's alive, but barely Maya, finally hugging Noah and Daniel inside a refugee shelter. A new coded message intercepted. Shabnam is not buried. Shabnam will rise. Fade to black. Text on screen. What begins with silence often ends with thunder. EXT. Tehran. Desful Mountains. Night. A heavily fortified underground structure glows faintly in satellite thermal scans. Inside, technicians in hazmat suits carry a metallic case toward a pressurized launch bay. Above them, a banner reading in Farsi. Shabnam Unit. Stage 3, clearance only. INT, United States, Pentagon. Emergency War Room. Tension is nuclear level. CIA Director, we've confirmed movement beneath Desful. Heat spikes, liquid gas chambers, Joint Chiefs. Shabnam is real, and it's mobile. President, unnamed. Can we strike? NSA Chief, not without fallout. The site is beneath a civilian city. President, then Israel will strike, unless we stop them first. INT, Israeli Command Center. Knight Grossman receives a final encrypted message from the Mossad. Rahel Cohen, voiceover. We've located the pilot. Secure, northeast Tehran. Extraction window, 9 minutes. After that, he's gone. Grossman, softly. And if Iran deploys? Rahel, then may God help us all. Ext, Tehran, abandoned warehouse. Same time, Captain Nir Ben Avi is shackled to a wall, bruised, bloody. Outside, a black van speeds in. Mossad team breaches, gunfire. 2 guards down. A flashbang erupts. Rahel enters, shoots the lock. Rahel, time to go. Pilot? NIR, weakly smiling. Took your time. They escape just as sirens begin to wail. INT, Shabnam Launch Chamber. 0403 Iran time, final preparations. A rotating cylinder locks into a drone casing. Shirazi, on monitor. Deploy if we lose visual of Site 9 or Tehran's east grid. Technician. Understood, sir. His hands tremble. The drone rises on a platform. INT, United Nations, Security Council. Live on Secretary General. We demand full transparency. If Shabnam is a weapon, it violates every treaty ever signed. Iranian ambassador, we were attacked, betrayed, and our soil turned to fire. U.S. ambassador, if you launch what we believe you will, there will be no more Iran. INT, Israel, emergency bunker. Sunrise. Maya, Noah, and Daniel arrive at the final aid checkpoint. Soldier, next wave of civilians moving to Cyprus. Boats leave at 0600. Maya, we're not going. Not without my husband. He's still up north. Soldier. No signal. We haven't heard from the northern front in hours. Maya stares into the hills. Ash smoke curling across the horizon. EXT, Iran. Night sky over Desful. The Shabnam drone rises silently, gliding into airspace. Suddenly, boom! An explosion rips through the launch chamber. Rahel Cohen's team had planted C4 during the pilot rescue. Underground, chaos. Fires spread. Chemicals rupture. A white vapor cloud begins to leak from a side vent. Technician, screaming in Farsi. Contain it. Shut the chamber. INT, Tehran, President Javad's office. Same time he watches the news unfold. Then grabs a red phone. President Javad, recall Shirazi. Disarm everything. I'm ending this. Aid, sir. He's cut comms. He's not listening. EXT, IDF drone footage. Above Iran. Live feed, Shabnam facility burning. A mysterious white cloud spills into the air. Intel analyst, Israel. Is that the bioagent? Grossman number. That's what's left of it. They were going to release it.